Thanks, guys. Okay, so tonight we're gonna go over how I personally track. Since starting as a coach about 2 years ago, I never tracked before. I mean, I would sometimes track because that's what Shalene says to do. So whatever CJ says to do, I usually try to do. And she swears by always knowing who you're talking to and constantly tracking, so that way you are getting the most use out of everything. You're able to know who you're talking to. You can kind of keep track. I mean, the worst thing that I think anybody can do is start up a brand new conversation with somebody that you've already talked to. And it's a little awkward, so you want to try to avoid that and not call anybody by the wrong name or any of that stuff. So tracking is super easy, and it's kind of like a lifesaver, especially when you have daily goals that you want to hit, for your business to grow. So I am an Excel kind of gal. I love Excel and Word. It's just kind of my jam, and I like doing Excel more than anything else, but you can use a Google Share Drive if you want, whatever is easy for you, but I just like Excel. So I always have an Excel sheet open, and I call it my hot list. So here I'm going to actually share with you guys now my screen so you guys can kind of see what it looks like. So this is my hot list. And I have a bunch of different tabs at the bottom. I call it, I got the word Mac Daddy from Christine Dwyer, actually, and I just thought it was cool, so that's what I kind of named it. So my Mac Daddy list is literally just my overall list of every single person that I know. So say, Venetia, you had such a good thing. So today, Venetia had or was it yesterday, with being in the grocery store, and she had this awesome conversation with someone. And even though that was just like a random encounter, they exchanged information. So right away, Bobby would go right away on the Mac Daddy list, all the way at the very bottom. And what you can do is you can even write yourself like little notes about like who they are. Like this girl I was talking to found out she lived in the UK. So things like that. So I know, kind of not to obviously, whenever Beachbody expands internationally, then I know I can go through my list and be like, oh, all right, so who can I talk to now? So the Mac Daddy is kind of like an ongoing list that you guys just always want to have. And you can keep it however you want. I mean, it's totally up to you. I just like having the date that I first messaged them, an outcome, an update, and then a follow-up. So that's my main tab that I use. And then I have one just for Instagram. I have one for people that I like to talk to, that I direct message people. And then I also, if I'm starting a new relationship with somebody on Instagram. And then I have one just for email. So you guys know how sometimes we put out join, leave your email below if you want more information or something. So if you put something like that on Instagram, you want to always keep track of those emails, because that's building your list. So that's something that you're going to want to track too. So I just have a basic one just for tracking emails as they come in. And then what I do is I have my business invite group, I have a challenge group invite, new convos, and my follow-ups. So what I do is I have set personal goals of how many people I want to be talking to each day based on where I want to see my business going. So if you guys, a lot of you are on a kind of like a game plan. Like you want to hit emerald by this day, you want to hit diamond by this day, and so on and so on. But in order for those things to happen, you have to have those conversations constantly going, because you're going to get a lot of no's. So my personal goal is to have 14 conversations about the coaching opportunity a week. That obviously does not have to be for you, but for me, in order to reach that 14 goal, because it kind of sounds overwhelming, and you're like, oh my God, I have to talk to 14 people this week. I broke it down to only 2 people a day. So 2 people a day is like nothing. So I pretty much do exactly the same thing. I just kind of track their name, the date, especially down here, because I have 2 accounts. So I try to just track everything, and I'm more of a visual person. So I like that's what these colors are for. I just need to fill up the pink today, and then tomorrow I need to fill up the orange and then the blue. So that's totally optional. You guys don't have to do it. I just like colors. Same thing with the challenge groups, is exactly the same thing. My goal is to talk to 14 new people about it. And you know, it's one of those things, like you can write down little things that happen in those conversations. And here's all of my new conversations that are happening. So it's basically the same thing. It's just each one is going to be a little bit different. Follow-ups are exactly the same exact thing. So I set my goals for myself up at the top, and then I just constantly add to this list. So this list is always open on my desktop. And then that's pretty much how my tracking actual sheet looks. And then what I also do when I go to invites, so say you're getting ready for your power hour, and your power hour of the day is going to be your invites. I would open up my Mac Daddy list. This would be one thing that I would have open. I would also have my scripts open. So I know that we've posted these for you guys. They're all in your team page under the files tab if you want them. But these are just a bunch of different options of things that you can message to somebody, whether it be about a challenge group or coaching or just a new conversation or even a follow-up. We have every single option here. So make sure you guys check that out and keep it saved, because it's just easier to have it someplace where you can go and get it right away. And then you don't have to constantly go into your team page and remember where you found it and all of that stuff. So you don't have to worry about anything. And then I usually open up 3 different tabs in my Facebook because having the tabs makes it easier for me mentally. So it's just, I'm all about quick and easy. So if you guys think about it, a lot of you are, you have busy lives, right? You've got families, you have other jobs probably. Sorry. And so you kind of need to really take advantage of this power hour. So this is exactly what I do. So when you guys have all read GoPro, right? And he says to emotionally detach yourself from the inviting process, because it just sometimes can get hard. So going forward, as I show you guys what I personally do, I just want you to keep that in mind. So my first tab I open just so it shows all of my messages. And then my second tab I open it up to my friends. And what I do is I usually have a tab open and I scroll all the way to the very bottom to where I know I haven't talked to anybody. So I know that I've talked to all of these people, or I've private messaged them. So I have a tab open for people that I haven't talked to, and then I leave another tab open just so I can search for them. So if I wanted to go see if I wanted to talk to Cassie, what I would do is I would copy her name, and I would go into my messages, and right here in the search bar, I would paste it. And then whatever conversation you had, if you did, with that person would show up. So this would be a good way for me to kind of know if I've talked to them or not. If I've never talked to them, then I would go into my third Facebook and kind of just look at her, because this is where you're going to want to form, and this is where you're going to make that connection with them. So you're going to want to, like look at the cover picture, find something that you have in common with her. Like obviously she's a cat lover. I like cats. And there's like a good way to start a conversation, or you can talk about this. Whatever happens, right? Just find something that you can kind of, that you can talk to, that you can message. So if I never talked to Cassie, I would probably message her something super simple like, hey Cassie, I saw your profile picture and your little baby kitties are so cute. What are their names? And then be like, I was scrolling through your page, and then, not going to lie, I saw that Miley Cyrus picture with the chicken, and what the heck is that about? There's a new conversation, and it didn't feel awkward. It's not salesy. You're not doing anything wrong. You're genuinely interested in her. Like, who doesn't want to know what that is about? Because I feel like I need to message her now and ask what happened here. I'm going to show it again. Okay, so that's what I would do for tracking and new people. And then what I would do is I would go right down my list, and I would go right to the next person. Copy and paste, copy and paste. And I I would go in and out of my different tabs. So if you guys don't know, I know if you have a Mac, if you hit Command Tab, this shows up. So allows you to kind of toggle between different apps that you have open, and it saves time. So say you're in Facebook, which is your Safari or Explorer, whatever you use, and you want to go right to your Excel. If you just hit the Tab button, it goes through all these different options, so it's less work. So then you can come in here and just paste her name and go right back and do it again. Does that make sense? So that's what I do. If anybody has a PC and they want to know how to toggle, I want to say it's Command Tab. I don't know. I'm an Apple snob, so I apologize. But I think it's Command Tab or something like that. Venetia, you know? Here, wait. I'm going to unmute you. So, what is it?
It's on the bottom. All the things that you have open, it'll be on the bottom. So you're like internet or whatever thing, you can just kind of go down and click on it that way.
Okay. So there you go.
Sorry, I have a PC. I want an Apple.
One day. Put that on your goal list.
My goal.
It'll happen. Apples change lives. So that's basically all that I do. The toggle thing is kind of like a lifesaver, and it's one of those things that once you figure out how to use, it can really make your power hours a lot simpler, especially when it comes to inviting, because you kind of just want to go in and out really quick and kind of just track as much as you can. So that's how I kind of do it. But the search tool in here in your Facebook messages are going to be key. Searching for who you're talking to and actually finding that common ground or something that you can talk to is a great way to start new conversations and even to follow up with people. And tracking will definitely be a huge game changer. Oh, Olivia is so cute. It'll be like a huge game changer for you guys once you start moving forward with your business. And it's going to kind of be a good tool to set for yourself now. So that way, when you're not 2 years into it, you're just like, crap, I should probably start doing this. And then you have to go back and start from day one and track everybody that you've talked to, which is not fun. So you want to kind of avoid doing that. So tracking is going to be key. I know sometimes you can also track on Google Share if you wanted to kind of share it if you don't have Excel on your computer. But that's pretty much it. So I'm going to stop sharing just so you guys can see. And what I'll do now is I'm going to open it up. I'll unmute everybody. So if anybody has any questions, we can kind of have a Q&A. And then, okay, everyone's unmuted, even Stacy and Hayden. I had to. Does anybody have any questions about how I track or the tools that I use, or does anybody have anything that they do that they really like that they want to also share?
Okay, so I have a question. Hold on. When you start the conversation, how do you just naturally let it go to Beachbody?
Do I naturally let it go to Beachbody?
Yes.
Usually, yes. I think I have a good, my one girl, I just, we just had, I like to just kind of let it naturally progress, because I think if you guys are doing your 3 posts a day rule and you're sharing about what you're doing with Beachbody, whoever that new conversation you're having with is going to see your posts. They're going to see what you're doing, and they're going to naturally become interested in what you're doing, especially if you're sharing your story. I mean, you guys all on this call, like, you have some powerful stories. I don't know who the 5717 number is who's calling in, but I'm sure you have a powerful story too. But I mean,
he does too. He has a powerful story too.
Hey guys. But I mean, if you guys are just sharing your story and you're sharing exactly what you're doing every day, and even about your love for Shakeology and how it's changed your life. I mean, I can go on rants about how Shakeology has changed my life, and especially the way I live with endo. People just want to know about what you're doing because everybody's kind of struggling with something. But I think those conversations just naturally progress. I don't ever kind of put Beachbody like in the people's faces. I don't like to word vomit on people. I like to form them. Family, occupation, FOR. Bracket? Oh, crap. I should know that. Something and family and get to know them, okay?
Now here's a question, because we were talking about it when you had posted on there what our biggest obstacles are, but no one actually stepped in and gave us a answer to it. Everyone, we were talking about when you start talking about it and they get interested, and you talked about the cost of Shakeology a month. Mm-hmm. It's like I try to break it down with, I'm the coffee addict, where Starbucks was my thing. I would spend like $5 a day on a cup of coffee. And so I break it down where my Shakeology has replaced my Starbucks addiction. Mm-hmm. And the cost of it and just different things. How do you overcome that? Because people hear, oh my gosh, that's like $129. And I'm like, but it's for an entire month. And some people like don't drink it. Like my husband's now drinking Shakeology. And he drinks it on his work days. He doesn't drink it on the weekend. He drinks it Monday through Friday because, it's what he does. And on the weekends, he does something different. But how do you overcome the obstacle of the cost?
I usually am super honest, and I tell them my reasoning for adding Shakeology into my monthly budget. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I do. I don't like, I do break it down, and like obviously, I like to put it in a way that you're going to Costco and you're buying in bulk. I put it that way because $130 a month sounds like a lot, but when you go grocery shopping, I can't even walk into Whole Foods and get a meal for my one dinner without spending $130. And I don't even know what I bought. It's just, or, going to the food store, every few days, because you eat a lot of fresh fruit or something like say, over time, it's like buying in bulk. You're having a full meal every single day. But then I also try to make it more personal, and I say, this is why I absolutely love it. And if I were to go to Whole Foods and purchase all of these things that I'm going to get from having one drink a day, it kind of doesn't, there's no reason for me not to spend that $130. Because if I want to go pop pills and take vitamins and drink 5 different shakes, just to get what I can get out of one scoop, it doesn't really make any sense. And it also depends who I'm talking to. Like it depends, if you're talking to somebody that feels like they have low energy or something like that, I kind of always bring it right back to them and to my personal experience. I think I lost Felicia. Wedding and emotions that I'm sure will come out. Does anybody else have anything cool that they do with Shakeology for overcoming objections? Stacey, do you have anything? I'm ready.
Aiden's being really noisy. Okay, yeah, you go upstairs.
What is that?
I'm muting everybody again. Not Stacey.
Okay, I normally, I always bring it back to them, I feel like, and I also, a lot of times, I don't avoid the question, but I go as long as I can without actually giving them the price. I tell them that it depends on how they buy it or what they're getting, and a lot of times I actually get to the point where I send them the enrollment and they don't even ask the price.
You reel them in.
Yeah, I do. And I just tell them why I love it, and I feel like that's all we can do, and how it's helped us.
I think by reevaluating and putting it back in their court and explaining what it can do for their specific goals is kind of how it just justifies itself.
Find them in the frozen aisle. Nestle Toll House. Fix them up. Well, a mortgage shouldn't be a problem. You're trying
Like a TV.
No, I have a 7 TV. I think so. Does somebody have a TV on? Somebody watching TV?
Oh, I do.
Mine's muted.
Well, I just have a few other.
The only other question we need to have. Anybody have any other questions or comments? Anybody want to put anything else in?
I have a question. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. How are you
Oh,
feeling?
you can. So my question was, when you're talking to people on Instagram and, you know, you're commenting, they're commenting back, like, how do you get to that next level of talking to them?
Go ahead, Stace. I like Stacy to talk. She was found on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I think like 90% of my coaches are actually from Instagram.
What?
And I don't have that many followers. Anna being one of mine. I always try and I comment back and forth. I keep track of the person that I'm commenting with. I write them down. And then I always try and get them over to Facebook somehow. Or a lot of times if I post like a free clean eating group, they'll leave their email because we've already been having a conversation. So it's kind of like there's already trust in me.
Okay.
But yeah, I really try and get them on to Facebook because then you can just chat.
Okay.
And I know, Mare, you go through and if they have a link to their Facebook, you add them, right?
Yeah, I usually add them. Another thing that I do when I'm talking to people on Instagram is because my brain is like such a scatter. I take screenshots of people's profiles.
That's smart.
And then I make time a few times a week to go through my pictures and add them to my hot list. And then I go in and I message them. Like, even if I'll like go in and direct message people all the time on Instagram. The only downfall with that is it's kind of hard to track on your phone.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes people don't really even know that there's direct messaging on Instagram. So sometimes
I don't
know how to use it.
Yeah.
I'll like miss messages because I don't see them all the time.
Yeah. And there, at least with Facebook, like you can hit that unread button so you can go back to it. Once you open on Instagram, you're done. It's kind of hard, but that's usually the best way. Try to get their email, try to get them on Facebook, or direct message them. But either way, at least try to take a picture or write their name down. So at least you know that, that's somebody that you should look out for. They're on your radar.
Gotcha.
Jackie, you look like you wanted to say something.
I was trying to figure out how to direct message on Instagram.
Oh.
So I brought it up on my computer.
Oh, if you go to like on your home screen, it looks like a little mailbox up at the very top on the right.
I'm on my phone right now for this.
Oh, so you can't see it. Yeah.
I brought it up on the computer. Is it the thing the way you always tag me in pictures?
No, I'll send you guys a direct message here. I'll take a selfie.
This little
Okay.
like button up here.
Yeah.
Like, there's like a little. I don't know.
Oh,
like,
I probably have a
like
ton
right
of
here.
people are always asking me if I got a direct message, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I miss
you have
them
to
all
send
the
it-
time.
Yeah, so I'll send you guys all a direct message. It'll just be one of my. I'll make a funny picture, obviously. And just so you guys can at least see how it works and kind of hopefully find out where it even is in the app. But I love meeting people on Instagram. I think Instagram is an amazing way to kind of talk to people, and I feel like most of you guys are more comfortable meeting and talking to strangers than people from like high school or college days. So that was a good question. Thank you.
No problem.
Anyone else? It could be about anything.
Thank you.
Okay. But yeah, have everyone do you guys know where all those scripts are if you want to use any scripts or anything?
Oh, I have a question.
Okay.
Do you ever like schedule calls with new people? Because like I feel like I get to a point where I'm like typing, and I'm, just rattling off information, and I almost feel like I would be more comfortable just having a phone conversation or like a FaceTime conversation.
Yeah, all the time, and especially if it's about coaching. When it gets to that point, I always send them a webinar that I already made. Because even in GoPro, they talk about using like a third party, or having a call. A lot of coaches swear by getting people on the phone. It kind of it's more intimate, I guess. It's more personal, and it definitely just gets the point across, and you can kind of just talk it out instead of just back and forth.
Yeah, like for me, I think it would be a little bit more natural.
Probably. And if it feels better, then just go for it. There's no wrong or right way for inviting or chatting with anybody.
Cool.
Do any of you use the voice messaging on Facebook?
I don't, but when we were where were we? We were either at Platinum Presenters or Summit, and they suggested that you do that. Or was it Caleb? It was Caleb. So there's a lot of top coaches that suggest you do that. I think we should all try.
Okay, do what? I'm back now.
Sorry.
And that, folks, is why you want a Mac.
There's an option in Facebook to send voice messages instead of like an actual text message, or a message.
So I know that's how Caleb, like, he'll go through someone's profile and do exactly what Mare did.
Except it'll be on the voice.
By talking about the cats or something, but it'll be on voice.
Do you think people are like freaked out by that though?
I don't know.
Like none of my friends use that.
Mine either.
Mine either.
Do you guys want to try? Should we all just pick 2 people?
We should pick 2 people and see if we scare the living daylights